Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to DK English Pathshala. Today we are going to begin this lesson, this poem, A Thing of Beauty, that is composed by John Keats. He was born in 1795 and he died in 1821. It means to say at the age of 26 years he died. He was a British romantic poet, means he belonged to Britain and he belonged to romantic age of English literature. Although trained to be a surgeon, means he was trained to be a doctor, yet he decided to devote himself wholly to poetry. But later on he decided that he would not go for the profession of doctor, but he would go for the profession of poetry. Keats' secret, his power to sway and delight the readers. Sway means to move, delight means to make happy. He makes his readers happy. He makes his viewers travel, his readers travel from one place to another place. This is his secret of success. Lies primarily in his gift for perceiving the world and living his moods and aspiration in terms of language. So, what is the strength of Keats here? The strength of Keats here is that he has understood the world very well and he has expressed that particular perception and moods and aspiration in terms of language. It is his secret or it is his strength. The following is an excerpt from his poem Endymion, a poetic romance. So this particular piece of poem has been taken from a long composition, and what is the name of that long composition? Endymion, a poetic romance. So the poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd and the poet who lived on Mount Latmus, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. So the poem's background is a Greek legend. Greek legend. Greek means belonging to Greece. Greece is the name of a country, and legend means a great story. So the base of this poem is a story actually, which was very popular in the country of Greece. So what was the story? Who were the characters? Endymion was the character. Who was Endymion? Beautiful young shepherd. And the poet who lived on Mount Latmus. He was a young shepherd and poet also. Who was a young shepherd and poet? Endymion was a young shepherd and poet. And where did they live? He lived on Mount Latmus. And he had a vision of Cynthia. Cynthia, he had a vision. Vision means dream. Cynthia is also the name of a character, and this is the name of a girl. The moon goddess. She was moon goddess. The enchanted youth. Enchanted youth means attracted, completely lost youth. Who was this lost youth? Lost for what? Lost for the beauty of Cynthia. And who was this enchanted youth? This enchanted youth was this Endymion. What did he decide? He decided to seek her out. To seek her out means to search her out, and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. He went through the forest, he went down under the sea, he searched that girl everywhere. It means to say, what was he in the search of? He was in the search of actually beauty. So actually here in this poem, what we will be seeing, according to Keats, beauty is not the object of only seeing. Beauty is not for the object of sight only. It goes to all the senses. Beauty cannot be seen only. Beauty can be felt, beauty can be smelled, beauty can be tasted, beauty can be heard. This is the central idea of this poem. This is the definition according to John Keats. So let's begin the poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. It means to say, a beautiful thing always gives you joy, pleasure, and enjoyment. Its loveliness increases. Its loveliness increases means whenever we see the beautiful things, it gives us pleasure. It gives more pleasure if we see it again. And this particular pleasure continues to grow. It will never pass into nothingness. We can't say that we have seen a thing which is beautiful and it has not given us any pleasure. We can't say like that. But we'll keep a bower quiet for us. Now John Keats starts to give us many examples of beautiful things. A bower which is quiet for us. A bower refers to a branch of a tree, which is silent, which is not harming us, that is beautiful according to John Keats. And a sleep full of sweet dreams, if you are having a good sleep which is full of sweet dreams, that also is beautiful. And health, it means to say if you are having good health, it means to say it is beautiful. And quiet breathing, if your breathing is going on well, if you are being able to breathe properly, then it also is beautiful. Therefore, on every morrow are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth. So, what does Keats say here? Keats says here that because of all these beautiful things only, we are having a strong desire to live on this earth. We want to be friends. We want to be friends with the earth. We want to live on this earth for more time. This is only because of these beautiful things. Spite of despondence means disappointment. The poet says that it's not like that ki only beautiful things are on this earth. There are certain things which bring us disappointment also. And what are those things? The inhuman dearth of noble natures. Noble natures means good people. Inhuman dearth means shortage. There is shortage of good people, of the gloomy days. It is the disappointment is because of the gloomy days. Gloomy days means sad days, the days which do not bring happiness. Of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways made for our searching. According to him, according to John Keats, there is disappointment on this earth because of the unhealthy and over darkened ways which are being used by the people for searching of money, for searching of fame. There is disappointment. Yes, in spite of all these things which bring us disappointment, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Some shape of beauty comes from somewhere. And what does it do? It moves away the pall. Pall means cover. Now what kind of cover is that? The cover is of sadness. And who removes away this cover of sadness? It is the beautiful thing which moves away the cover of that sadness. And where has that sadness come from? That sadness has come from only because of these things which bring disappointment on this earth. Now further he gives more examples of beautiful things, such the sun, the moon, old and young trees, sprouting, giving a shady boon, means shade for simple sheep, means a simple tree which is giving shade to a simple sheep, that also is beautiful. And such are daffodils. Daffodils is name of flower. Daffodils are colored flowers with a green world, and they are surrounded by green world. How beautiful is that? That also is beautiful. And clear rills means a stream that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. In the summer season, their water is cool. Their water is it suits our body. That also is beautiful. Cooling covert means touch, makes against the hot season. In hot season, that cooling water gives us a kind of relief. That also is beautiful. The mid forest break means a group of shrubs. Mid forest means which is found at the midst of the forest, rich with the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, which is completely filled with the fragrance of musk rose. That also is beautiful. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, and the things which we have imagined for our great people. Mighty dead means powerful people who have died. Grandeur means hugeness. So what we have imagined, actually this is a concept of doomsday. And what is the concept of doomsday? According to the concept of doomsday in Bible, it is written that one day comes when all those people who have done great works, they will be taken away from their graves and they will be rewarded by the God. So that imagination, look at that imagination. According to him, that imagination is also beautiful. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, all lovely tales means stories that we have heard or read about these mighty great people, those also are beautiful. So here beauty can be heard, in that line beauty can be smelled, in this line beauty can be touched. And at the end of the poem, he is using a metaphor. And what is that metaphor? Beauty is an endless fountain of immortal drink. So beauty is an endless fountain, means the fountain which will never end. And what is this fountain filled of? This fountain is filled of a drink. And what is that drink? That drink is not going to end any time, pouring onto us. And who is pouring that particular drink? That is being poured means dropped onto us. Who is pouring that? It is being poured by the Almighty God. And from where he is pouring it? He is pouring it from the heaven's brink. Brink means bank, and heaven means the sky's brink. And so this is the, if you just think of any poetic device here, this is a clear example of metaphor. And the poem is full of so many imageries. Look at this one: daffodils with the green world they live in. It creates an image in our mind of daffodils which are surrounded by the greenery. Clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. We feel that kind of, that kind of imagery here of clear rills. And hot season also we can feel. This also is the example of imagery. If you look at the poem again, it is having many cases of, alliteration also. If you look at here, noble natures and sound is repeating. That's why it is alliteration. Some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Beauty is an abstract thing, yet it is moving away something. That's why it is the example of personification. I hope you like this poem and this poem's explanation as well. If you liked it, please hit the like button and don't forget to share this particular video among your friends. Thank you very much for joining. Have a lovely night ahead.